is a MegaPrince. It's been the hero of this year's trout season so far. As many of you know, we've been dealing with a lot of high water, and this fly's been getting it done for us.
So why is it a hero?
Why is it a hero? Well, the fish have been eating it. The biggest thing is the way we're tying it. It's a big bug, looks like a lot of stuff. Comes under the heading of impressionistics, and we use a cone on it. It's also got lead underneath it, so it'll get down quick. We'll start out with putting on some rubber legs on the front.
Do you think rubber legs make a difference?
Good question. I don't know if it makes a difference because we think it does or if the fish like it. I do know the fish like rubber legs. And I know it helps give the fly some lifelike looks. Even when it's being dead drifting, those legs are out waving around and it's got the illusion of life. Instead of going through the water like a 2x4, it'll go to water like some creepy crawler living in the river. So it certainly doesn't hurt.
Now, if the water wasn't as big, would you skip the lead, or what would you do there?
I would build this according to the conditions I'm dealing in. In this case, I'd probably skip the weight. Or I'd use a smaller cone or bead just to adjust to whatever we're dealing with. So if I was in low water conditions and I knew I wanted a big fly, I might go with a small bead, scrap the lead, and go that way. So a lot of the flies that I use very often is tied to meet the conditions we're dealing with at the time we're fishing. People ask why do I tie it that way? Well, because it's working right now. It's not as much as trying to be a smart response, it's just that we're quite often customizing flies to suit whatever we're dealing with. Little brown marabou. We're going to put a nice little short tail. I always like the tips, they look good. That looks nice. Use a little gap right behind there to fill in the space. That tail's a little big. Let's fix that. If you don't like it, take it off and modify it. That looks a lot better. And we'll put some rubber legs over the tail. Right in the center, a couple turns, fold it over. Oops, don't get carried away here, Jake. And there we go. Well, there we don't go. This particular piece has a mind of its own. There, we're bigger than it is. We'll put it where we want it. Problem solved. Some copper wire. Since we're going to be using a peacock curl body, we got to reinforce that peacock curl. I like peacock curl, but you got to wire it in place or it's going to break on you. We'll get some nice big strands here. We'll get them all get all the tips lined up. We got about 4 there. Let's get a couple more in there. Get some nice volume so I can put a decent body in there. The inevitability of the tips breaking, so I'll just cut them.
Can you have too much peacock curl tied at once?
Yeah, you can, because you can end up with a big, horrible, gobby bunch, and you'll end up once again dealing with a fat body. And we're trying to just keep this body reasonable, getting it overloaded. Which is something you may want to do if you don't have any lead underneath it. You may have to add a little bit more bulk with the peacock curl. There we go. Get tied up tight against the cone. We're going to counter wrap the wire so it'll hold the fly together and we won't lose the nice little copper flashes. I am using a copper cone on this thing. The reason I'm using a copper cone is because I'm a lot of brass beads and brass cones, so it's copper it is. I don't think the fish care, so I'm not going to. Well, a couple white goose bites. Where it's named the Prince. Kind of put them in a V-ish shape. I can always say ish because half the time they don't come out like a nice V, like this one's almost trying to do. Now we're going to put a little soft tackle collar. In this case, I'm using some nice little barred brown. If you have, normally I use straight brown, but today when I was getting the stuff out, I saw this. It looks cool, so I'm using it. There we go, right behind the cone. couple turns. We'll use the back of this comb to protect the head that we're going to use the tie the fly down with. Back over it a little bit, get it good and secure, build it up a little bit so everything's nice and snug. Got the hackle flowing back over the body. Several whip finishes. And a little grooming.
Do you ever modify the fly?
I will, depending on conditions. And here we go, the MegaPrince. I got one of the legs is hiding on us. We're starting a new project focusing on the YouTube channel with Lost River Productions and myself, JPEG Guides, trying to put up a lot of videos at a regular basis going forward. Please hit the subscribe button. We would really appreciate that. It's going to help us a lot. And also down below, comment on the videos. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, so that we can format the videos to make something a lot more interesting, entertaining, helpful for you going forward. All this information is going to help us with this project. Once again, thanks for your support. Please hit the subscribe button, comment below. It's all going to be very helpful and useful.